So you know, I can deal with rain. I can deal with the dark. I can deal with some cold temperatures, but the one thing I absolutely hate is the blasted wind. And as you can tell today, it is particularly bad where I'm at. So how do we deal with old wind? Well, we'll talk about that here coming up. Good God. What's up, everybody? It's Clutch here from the Sodak Motorcycle Blog, and well, today I'm dealing with one of South Dakota's exports. I wouldn't call it a great export. I am pretty sure we have better things to export, like corn and ethanol and tourism and scoreboards. By the way, your scoreboard says Daktronics. That was a scoreboard that was made in Brookings, South Dakota. But anyways, that's besides the point. Today I'm talking about our lovely little friend called wind. And let me tell you, wind's a pain in the flippin' neck some days, dude. Good Lord. And some of you in the world, you might be thinking, oh my God, how bad can wind be? Well, first of all, you obviously do not live anywhere near the Great Plains. I can guarantee you that. Because let me tell you, the wind's a thing around here. I don't know if you've ever seen all those videos on YouTube from, like, you know, in the winter in Wyoming, while all the trucks are tipping over in Wyoming. Well, South Dakota and Wyoming are pretty close states. Now, we don't get wind as bad as they get over in Wyoming, but it gets pretty darn close to bad here. Today is a nice prime example. I think today this is technically called breezy. We got a wind advisory going on. And honestly, that's kind of the price of doing business in the spring around here, and this one's been really bad. Like, we had a 4 or 5 day stretch where the wind basically was gusting well over 50 for like 4 days straight. Like, it's, yeah, it gets bad around these parts. So when you live around here, you know, just waiting for the wind to go away the next day, well, that's just not a thing. I mean, the wind just blows around here. That's all it is. It just blows a lot, and that's just how it is. So you got to manage it, right? Well, there are several ways you can manage it. First of all, equipment side. I got a few devices here that you see in front of you. You see this windshield and that fairing. That's a good way to manage the wind. Another way you can manage it is to wear your gear. Let me tell you, a full face or a modular helmet sure helps a lot with the wind. It helps considerably with the wind. It really does, because it kind of keeps it off your face, and you know, it makes it so it's not so bad. I mean, it's still pretty bad. It's still kicking your body around, but so there's a couple ways you can deal with it. Otherwise, you can other things you can do to combat the wind is try to stay in sheltered areas. A lot of times around here, what we'll do is a day like today where the wind's blowing really hard, we'll try to stick in the hills, because you get up in like hilly areas, it's got like tree cover and that kind of stuff, and that the wind's still there, but it's not near as bad as it could be. Days like today are definitely not days that you decide that, hey, I'm gonna go ride a motorcycle in the Badlands, or I'm gonna go ride over the Devil's Tower, unless you're an idiot or have never done it before, been here before. and experience what wind is around here. So that's one way you can deal with it. Other things you could do is you know, go do your riding early in the morning. A lot of times around here the wind tends to be the worst, and especially in the afternoon. So usually, you know, you usually get 3-4 hours in the morning where it's not so bad, but usually afternoons where you kind of deal with the wind the worst. And usually it'll calm down later at night, later into the evening. So that's another way you can combat it, is wait for the heating of the day to go away. A few considerations you're going to have with wind though is, well, first of all, wind makes you tired. Wind makes you absolutely tired. I was just watching Whit Maze's first video of her 50cc iron butt she did this spring, or no, this winter, is the end of January, and she was dealing with some really bad wind in Arizona and New Mexico, and it took it out of her. And it does. It will sap your strength in a heartbeat, man. I mean, it'll just kill all your strength, because you're constantly kind of having to fight against it. It's one more thing that's pushing against you. Granted, your bike helps you a little bit, but you also got to do some more work to keep yourself straight on the lane. A lot of times you notice on windy days where you've been going down the road a ways, a road that's going east-west, and you're going east, and the wind's blowing hard from the north all day, you'll notice that one whole side of your tire looks a lot more worn than the other one, from the fact that you're going sideways the whole time. So your body's kind of fighting that the whole time you're riding in the wind. So when you're riding the wind, you're going to get tired a lot more easy. It's just the fact of the matter. The other thing that's going to happen is if you get wet, you're going to get cold a lot easier, because there's a thing that's called wind chill, and you deal with it in the winter time. Well, if it's a cooler day where you're riding at, you're gonna have wind chill issues. I mean, you already have that on a bike anyway, but you're gonna 50 degrees and wind's pretty damn cold. Well, let's put it this way. I've ridden in 50 degrees and 60 degrees and lots of wind, and 50 degrees with no wind, and I take the 50 degrees with no wind, just because when you got that wind blowing on you, it's just that much harder of a fight. Plus, you'll get little instances like I have right now where the wind's coming right here and it kind of is just going all the way around my fairing. So although I will say this, and this comes back to sometimes you gotta take what you can get around here. This morning it was an absolute downpour most of the morning. Holy crud. So it was it rained pretty good overnight. But then at 11:30 the sun come out, and well, with the sun came the wind, and well, sometimes you just got to take what you can get. And that's really the key in the end. If you live in an area that has wind issues, you need to just understand that in order to get some riding in, you're probably gonna have to deal with some wind every once in a while, and that's just how it is. But, you know, what are you gonna do? Well, if you want to ride, you're just gonna have to deal with the wind. That's what you're gonna have to do. So, oh, one more thing I will add in. Well, if you're going down the road, kind of be mindful of the gusts. And you can sometimes see them coming if there's gut stuff, but sometimes they might just hit you just all of a sudden, just like this one is. I mean, this one just hit and all of a sudden hard. You notice I went back to the 2 feet on this one too. God. You know, it's windy when you can watch cars in front of you moving around a little bit. Another thing with the gusts to be mindful of is when you're coming in and out of shelter belts or bridges. And when I mean shelter belt, I mean a bank of trees in the middle of the plains. But if you're coming out of like shelter belts or out from under bridges, anywhere where the wind blocks, the wind, when you hit that open spot, that wind's probably going to hit you like a brick wall. So be prepared for that. Also, the same thing applies if you're going around heavy vehicles, especially big semis. Be prepared when you're going around them and going around them when it's windy that, yep, their turbulence is going to do weird things. So be prepared for that. So I think now I've actually covered everything. So, but anyways, so let's recap some things that'll make you riding through the wind easier. First of all, your equipment. If you got a bike that's got a fairing and also a bike that's got some weight, you're gonna have a lot easier time dealing with the wind than if you're just running down the street on a lightweight naked bike. Also, having gear will help you out considerably, especially a full face or a modular helmet. That will keep the wind from coming directly right on your face, so and make it a little bit more comforting. You just have to deal with your body blowing around, but it's not too bad. Other than that, you can't do a lot much more about it other than just learn to manage it and learn to deal with it. And also knowing that it will make you tired, kind of knowing when you need to stop and take a break. And, you know, maybe if you're on a long road trip and you don't really have your stops fanned out, but the day you leave, it's all of a sudden one of those days where you're dealing with 35 to 50 mile an hour winds. That would probably be a good day where, you know what, we're going to hang out where we're at, or we're going to run down the road, but we're not going to run down the road as hard as we normally would. So you might have to modify what you do as well to make it work. But like I said before, I'd say wind is probably my least favorite thing to ride in. Like, I think I would take, sometimes I think I would take rain over wind. Sometimes, not all the time, but there are times where, like, you know, stupid wind. What is your experience riding wind? Go ahead and reply in the comments. If you've never had to deal with wind, I tell you what, I do envy you, because like I said, around here we have to deal with it non-stop. That's just how it is. It's just how it is, but it's okay. You gotta take it with the punches. I mean, here's the deal in the end. You're gonna have to just know this: you are participating in an outdoor event, meaning that you are subject to Mother Nature doing what she does, which, well, around South Dakota a lot of times that is. Wind blows like hell. Good Lord, speaking of wind blowing like hell, wow, that was a nice little gust. I would like to thank you for stopping by. Once again, I am Clutch, also known as Richard of the Sodak Motorcycle Blog. We produce weekly videos that come out every Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you're a fan, go ahead and subscribe to us and hit that bell icon so you can be notified of new videos, or just come over here and check in every Thursday or every Thursday evening and see what new videos we got in store for the week. So anyways, once again, I'm Clutch. You take it easy, and we'll see you later. So as you can see, biggest thing it did is it crunched this mirror all the way up, cracked her up really bad, destroyed the mirror part.